Hello everyone, welcome to our Step to Engineer channel. Today, I'd like to share more about a topic I discussed in previous videos: what a pressure vessel is and how it's constructed. This will be the second part of the series on pressure vessels, where I'll continue explaining the details of its construction. Last week, I discussed the meaning of a pressure vessel, how its design codes originated, and how to follow these design codes. In this part, I want to explain the process of building these vessels, specifically which organizations and parties are involved and how they collaborate in the construction process. The first step in the process involves the organization that will actually be using this unit. We refer to this organization as the end user in our projects, as they are the final users who will actually utilize the unit. They might be organizations that are very knowledgeable about the equipment, or they could be ones with little to no knowledge about it. For example, an oil well owner may only be focused on extracting and selling oil. Therefore, they might or might not be interested in the technical aspects related to the equipment. However, since they are the ones providing the funding and will ultimately use the equipment, they are considered the end user. There's another party involved who might not be knowledgeable about the equipment. For example, in the case of extracting oil or other industries, they might want to use the equipment, but they don't know how it works or how to use it properly. However, since they are the ones funding the project, they hire a more experienced organization to act on their behalf. They provide the money and ask this organization to advise on how to design and implement the project effectively. The companies that provide such services are called consultant companies in projects. They are hired to offer expertise and guidance on the design and implementation of the project. Another point is that the consultant is highly skilled in all aspects of the work. Being skilled means they are proficient in handling data and can use that data to effectively manage and execute projects. The consultant is skilled in handling data related to projects such as pressure vessels, heat exchangers, or oil extraction. They know which companies are capable of handling these tasks and which ones have the expertise to successfully execute such projects. The consultant is knowledgeable about what these companies can do and also understands who has the authority to inspect the products or materials produced by these companies. Since the consultant knows these details, they have access to relevant data. For example, they know that companies like Total E&P or Chevron are capable of handling oil extraction projects. This data allows them to make informed decisions and guide the project effectively. So, the consultant checks with the relevant expert companies to verify if they can meet the end user's requirements. These companies control the information to ensure they can deliver according to the end user's needs. After evaluating this, the consultant provides official advice to the end user, recommending which company should be assigned the work. In this case, the consultant is responsible for monitoring the project and ensuring that the remaining companies follow the end user's requirements. They take charge of overseeing and managing the project to ensure everything is carried out according to the end user's specifications. After receiving the consultant's recommendations, the end user assigns the work to a company. For example, the company could be one like Total or Chevron, which is capable of handling the oil extraction project. The end user then contracts the selected company to carry out the work. Once the work is assigned to a large company, such as Total or Chevron, they have the capability to handle the entire oil extraction process. However, to carry out the project, they may need certain equipment, tools, and specific requirements. For things they cannot handle in-house, they subcontract the necessary tasks to relevant contractors who specialize in those areas. For things they cannot handle in-house, they subcontract the necessary tasks to relevant contractors who specialize in those areas. When the end user assigns the work to the company, that company is referred to as the main contractor. In the specifications, the large company is referred to as the contractor. So, when drafting the specifications, it would be written as contractor to indicate their role in handling the project. The main contractor will handle the tasks they are capable of, and for tasks they cannot perform, they subcontract them to other parties. However, when subcontracting, they don't just pass on the work casually. They take their own company's requirements and standards into account, specifying what is needed and ensuring the subcontractors follow those standards. They create detailed specifications that outline the requirements for the work, based on their own company's standards. According to these specifications, the main contractor tells the other companies that they must perform the work following these standards. They ask whether these companies are capable of carrying out the tasks as specified. Once the requirements are confirmed, they send out an inquiry to those companies, requesting them to take on the work. According to that inquiry, we need to outline how we can offer the lowest price with the best quality compared to other companies, along with the purpose and conditions. Then, the selected company will act as the main contractor. After the main contractor is appointed, another party is involved. This party includes companies that the main contractor hires to provide services, perform specific tasks, or supply materials. Since the main contractor delegates portions of the work or materials to them, these companies are called subcontractors. The subcontractor is a company that specializes in specific tasks. For example, if there's a particular section or unit like a skid that needs to be handled, the subcontractor will offer to carry out that work. They send their proposal to the main contractor, offering their services or supplying materials. In short, the subcontractor is a company that provides specific services or products to the main contractor based on the requirements of the project. Subcontractors handle specific parts of a large project. The main contractor divides the project into smaller sections or tasks and assigns each section to different subcontractors. These subcontractors then perform the work for their assigned part of the project. They offer to meet the main contractor's specifications at the lowest price with the best quality, making commitments and striving to secure the job by submitting their quotation. At that point, the main contractor assigns the work to a suitable subcontractor. Often, main contractors choose subcontractors based on past performance and the quality of work they've previously completed. These approved subcontractors are then added to an approved vendor list, meaning they are registered with the main contractor as trusted vendors who meet their standards. Later, after the work is completed, it becomes customary to continue assigning work to the subcontractors on the approved vendor list as they have proven reliability and performance. At this point, since we are discussing pressure vessels, for example, in the case of skids related to pressure vessels, the main contractors assign the work to skid suppliers, who are the subcontractors providing the skids. A skip refers to a system used in various types of pipelines, such as process pipelines, gas pipelines, and all pipelines. It is designed for specific purposes and is constructed individually for each section. Once built, the skid is used to connect and integrate the different pipeline sections into a cohesive system. It's a structure frame made with reinforced concrete on the lower level. On the structure frame, there are pressure vessels, heat exchangers, and pipelines connecting them, along with associated control panels and filters, all integrated into a functioning system. In the image you're showing, it depicts the skid symbols, indicating that the subcontractor is responsible for carrying out the entire task associated with the skid. Once the structure is built, the subcontractors cannot construct everything from A to Z on their own. The subcontractors are responsible for the design of the system, which includes determining how many heat exchangers, pressure vessels, and filters are needed. They also need to specify the pipe sizes and layout for the piping system. This is part of their scope of work in completing the project.
They do not build items by themselves, such as pressure vessels, heat exchangers, or filters.
So, what they do is buy standard materials from suppliers who sell these items. For items that cannot be bought as standard, such as heat exchangers or filters, subcontractors will work with specialized manufacturers. They will provide the manufacturers with their requirements and specifications, including the required capacity and quantity of heat exchangers or filters needed. Sometimes, the subcontractor will take the main contractor's specifications and approach the manufacturer to check if they can fulfill the requirements based on those specifications. At that point, the subcontractor will confirm with the pressure vessel company if they can manufacture the pressure vessels according to the specifications. If the company confirms they can, the subcontractor will then work to ensure the job is completed. So, the subcontractor takes on specific tasks, like handling the skip, and we are the ones working on tasks such as the pressure vessel line. Then, they pass the work on to the main product manufacturers, who are responsible for producing the key components. Another party or group has emerged there, the product manufacturer. So, when the work reaches the product manufacturers, for example, when discussing pressure vessels, the pressure vessel manufacturer will then take over the process from there. The pressure vessel manufacturer, based on the requirements from the subcontractors and the main contractor, will design the pressure vessel. They will determine the design pressure, design temperature, and capacity, which will guide how to build it. This includes calculating the wall thickness, selecting the materials, and ensuring proper construction details, such as whether it needs to be insulated or treated with protective coatings. All these steps are necessary to create a fully functional and safe pressure vessel according to the specifications provided. While the pressure vessel manufacturer can handle the design, fabrication, coating, and testing of the pressure vessel unit, they do not typically manufacture components like flanges themselves. These specialized parts are often sourced from another company that specializes in producing flanges. Since the manufacturer cannot produce every part like pipes and flanges themselves, they will specify the required details, such as the number of 20-inch pipes and flanges needed. After preparing these specifications, they will purchase standard pipes and flanges from external suppliers who sell these materials. The company that provides materials like pipes and flanges is called the supplier. However, when it comes to the finishing stages, like painting or coating the pressure vessel, the manufacturer typically does not handle this themselves. For tasks like painting, which require professional expertise, the manufacturer will outsource to a specialized painting company. These painting suppliers have the necessary skills and safety standards to perform the required coatings effectively. In the case of painting, international standards may require a specific painting coat, such as Code 3, which dictates the thickness of the coating, the chemicals to be used, and other details. These painting specifications are provided by the painting suppliers, who ensure that their services meet the required standards. The suppliers will then confirm that they can provide the necessary services, ensuring that they comply with the specific technical requirements for the project. For equipment operating at high temperatures, such as those above 150 degrees Celsius or reaching 200 degrees Celsius minus 300 degrees Celsius, it's crucial to prevent heat transfer that could cause burns or injuries. To ensure safety, insulation is applied around the equipment. The thickness of the insulation is calculated based on the temperature and the type of material used. This helps keep the external surface at a safe temperature, protecting people from heat exposure. The insulation also improves energy efficiency by reducing heat loss. When manufacturers or fabricators can't handle certain tasks, such as insulation, the insulation supplier is called in to provide the necessary services. They will wrap the equipment with insulation using materials like rope or blankets and then cover it with insulation sheets or layers according to the specified requirements. These services are outsourced to ensure the insulation is properly applied and meets safety and efficiency standards. These service-providing companies are commonly referred to as vendors. They supply and perform the required services or materials based on the specifications provided. The term vendor refers to the service provider or seller in a transaction. In the context of your explanation, when a company is providing a service like insulation, painting, etc., they are the vendor. On the other hand, when it comes to selling physical materials or products, the company providing those materials is referred to as a supplier. The buyer of a service is typically called the client. Just as the seller of goods is called a supplier, the buyer of goods is called a customer. This is the most commonly used terminology. The parties involved in the process of creating a pressure vessel include the end user, who communicates with the consultant for advice. The consultant then liaises with the main contractor, who hires a subcontractor, and the subcontractor works with specialist manufacturers, who in turn source the required materials from vendors and suppliers. In addition to the mentioned parties, there are also third-party inspection parties involved in the process. These inspection companies verify whether the materials and equipment are being manufactured according to the precise design codes and standards. They ensure that the products meet the required specifications and quality before they are finalized for use. To the previously mentioned parties, there are also third-party inspection organizations such as ASME, ABS, DNV, and others. These organizations, with authorized inspectors, are responsible for verifying that the manufacturing of the pressure vessel complies with the required standards and design codes. They conduct inspections based on their own classification systems and ensure that the materials and products meet the specific requirements. After conducting thorough inspections, these third-party organizations approve and certify the product by signing off with their official stamp or signature. You're welcome. I'm glad I could assist you. It's clear that you have a thorough understanding of the process and the various parties involved in creating a pressure.
If you need any further assistance, feel free to reach out. Good luck with your work, and thank you for like and share our channel.
အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာပါ